Oh, story time. Oh my gosh. So, what do you do when your DJ controller fails on you at a gig, at a wedding? Well, that exact thing happened to me 2 weeks ago at a wedding that I was DJing at, and I was using the DDJ Rev 7. If you watch any of my other videos here on YouTube, you know that I rave about the DDJ Rev 7. I also talk about it on social media like Instagram and TikTok. And the reason why I like it so much is because it has the same layout as, two turntables and a battle style type mixer like the S9, the S11, and the S7, all from Pioneer. And there's other types of mixers that are very similar with the trigger effects that I like to personally. So that's why I liked the DDJ Rev 7, but that whole experience for me made me change my perspective on moving platters on a DJ controller. Now, I'm not sure if that was the main reason why the unit wouldn't turn on, but I think just having that extra component in a DJ controller, maybe it's less reliable. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody, out there might know a thing or two about how the build quality might affect that when it comes to explaining plotters. But I've noticed that every other controller that I've owned and any of my friends that have like non-moving plotters for their controllers, they tend to last a very long time and they don't have to really replace their controller or anything like that. So if you guys know anything of that, please let me know in the comments below. But essentially, the whole thing would not turn on. So I had the power cord plugged in. I hit the power button. It typically would do like a light sequence with all the buttons that are able to be lit up, and that just did not happen. Basically, the only thing that was blinking was the wake or the slip on the left side. So if you're looking at the DDJ Rev 7 on the right side, there's this wake up button. Basically, if you don't have any sound or any any inputs going into it where it's active, within 20 to 30 minutes, the whole unit will go to sleep or go into a demo mode. Now you can change that in the utility of Serato for that specific unit to have it be a little bit more delayed if you will like, but I have mine on default and I believe it's 25 to 30. So typically to wake it up, you have to hit that specific button. You can't, touch a cue point. You can't, mess with the fader or a knob or anything like that. You have to hit that specific button. The other option is to turn the unit off and then turn the unit on, but I don't recommend that. But basically, there was other ways that you could do to get into the utility settings of the unit itself, but nothing was registering. And let me just tell you that it was a really stressful situation for me, especially at a wedding, because for weddings, if you ever DJ'd one or you're thinking about one, there's a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of things that you can't control, and you kind of have to just adapt to whatever situation is thrown at you, right? So what ended up happening, I DJ'd from my laptop, which I usually do, through Serato, and I just plugged in my aux cord to one of my speakers and then daisy chained it to the other one. It's not the most ideal, but it still got the job done, and I was still able to provide sound to my client. Personally, I think I just kind of, I don't know. I think I was just overthinking it too much, but that was the last resort. Thankfully, the new MacBooks. Well, I have the M1 Pro Max, and it still has a headphone jack. I'm sure the M3, they probably still have a headphone jack as well. But hopefully, Apple does not get rid of that, because if they do, um, you wouldn't be able to use that as a solution if something like that were to happen, especially for DJs, for that. But yeah, so the other thing that I would recommend is, if you're looking to get into the mobile DJ business, is to get some type of policy or insurance, or some type of coverage for your equipment. Because if something like that were to happen, I mean, that controller itself, brand new, is about $2,000. If something like that were to happen, you didn't have insurance, you would have to fork over $2,000 to get that same unit, or maybe you're going to downgrade and get something. But yeah, let me know if that is something that you guys are interested in, because as I kind of progressed in the mobile DJ business, I knew I had to get coverage, and I just wanted to be better protected and be responsible, especially some of the venues, out here in Oregon, they do require a certificate of insurance. I don't know what it's like for your city, but I would imagine it's pretty similar. And some of your clients may require that for you to, and it also shows that you're professional in some ways too, because if somebody else, your competitor, if they don't have insurance or they don't have coverage, they're going to go with you because you're better protected. So thankfully, I do have a backup controller, the SRT 1000, also from Pioneer, and I've had that since the beginning of time when they first released it. I tend to kind of jump on the new, I guess, equipment if it makes sense for me in my business. I tend to jump on it right away just because I want to practice and get really familiar with all the different controls, effects, and features of a unit like that, especially when there's something new like stems and whatnot that's incorporated to have a designated button on the unit itself. Which the DDJ Rev 7 and the SRT 1000, they don't have designated buttons for stems. But that's besides the point. I just feel like, it wasn't important enough for me to have that as a standalone button for me to use in a live setting. And that's just me. Other people are different. Again, do what makes sense for you and your business. So currently I have my Rev 7. I have it shipped to a repair shop that Pioneer or Alpha Theta had recommended me to use one of their authorized repair shops type deal. So it's down in California right now, and I'm still waiting to hear back on what went wrong and how much it's going to cost to fix everything. I think I spent close to $200 on shipping to get the unit there, and I'm pretty sure they're going to have me pay for shipping to be shipped back to my home, and then whatever fee that I got to pay for them to repair it. I already paid them $80 just to do like a check, to inspect the unit. So yeah, I'm kind of anxious to see what it's going to cost. Hopefully not a lot, and hopefully there's no supply chain issues when it comes to replacing whatever part that they need to replace. So again, I haven't seen this issue pop up with the DDJ Rev 7 itself, but another tip is to have a backup unit. So if something like that were to happen, you can just swap it out and have another unit ready. So as of right now, I have the DJM S9 and 2 turntables and the SRT 1000. I think for weddings and just events like that, I'm going to bring the SRT 1000 and the S9 just in case if the SRT 1000 were to fail on me like the DJJ Rev 7. Well, thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to update you guys on that because I know I made a few videos about it on Instagram, I think, definitely on TikTok, and just basically asking for help and support for anybody that might have ran into this issue before. But if you guys know anything about this type of issue, let me know in the comments below. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.